Well, hello there, wrestling fans. Long time no see with this guy over here.
Yep.
I'm John Hoppy, your host. You're listening to the Wrestling Fans Insight. And William, you're finally back.
Yep. Sorry for the long absence. I had a bunch of health issues that I had to take care of.
But the good thing is you got good news. You're on the upswing for a little bit now. And
It took about 3 weeks of healing after the procedure I had to go through, but I can tell you right now, I feel mountains better.
good. And also want to give a big shout out to Brian the Hype Ballard for filling in when he can.
Thank you, Brian.
Even though we didn't do that many shows, just because we've had a busy schedule this year and it's been really hard to get a consistent sit down. But hopefully now that William's better, things are slowing down for me. We should hopefully be back on a regular schedule here now. So, wrestling season's starting to pick up, obviously, now that school's back in session. Sorry, kiddos. But William, it's a busy wrestling weekend here. As far as pay-per-views, PLEs, whatnot, GCW is having their homecoming pay-per-view. They actually had night one last night, and that was a killer event. Kudos to everyone that performed on the card last night. Unfortunately, I'm probably not going to be able to see it because I've got two others. We have NXT Heatwave and also AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling's Forbidden Door tonight. So we got a pretty stacked night tonight. And if you're a wrestling fan, you're not starving for anything tonight. Everything's going to be full blown, going on, full action. But William, just before we start and get into our predictions, and we'll start off with Heatwave first and then go into the Forbidden Door. What's your thoughts on WWE that keeps counter programming with AEW?
I find it problematic.
I
don't have all the time in the world. None of us do.
Do you really think it serves WWE an advantage?
I don't think it does, because then you're just creating a divide. And realistically, nobody that's a wrestling fan really wants to see a divide. They just want to enjoy what they're watching.
Sorry, I'm trying to get William a little more into the picture here.
So. Oh, no, you're going to show my ugly mug. Okay.
Yeah, I am. Everybody missed your cute little cuddly face there. So, but anyways, yeah, big surprise last night on GCW. The opening match was Shotzi Blackheart taking on Matt Cardona for the GCW Garage Beer Championship, I believe it was called. But it was a hell of a match, and I'm going to tell you, the ending was awesome. Coming in to help Shotzi was Killer Cross and Scarlett. And, everybody was sitting here thinking...
Really?
Yeah, everyone was sitting here thinking that this whole contract negotiation with Killer Cross, Karrion Kross, and WWE was a work, but I think this pretty much settled a lot of those doubts after last night. But I'm never going to say never either, because we've also been fooled where, WWE will land somebody at the last second. But
I'd really rather watch somebody actually do something with him, though.
Well, and I think GCW, for the most part, will actually use Karrion Kross for a little bit here, much like they did with Mance Warner, who's actually... I believe he's contracted with TNA, but I'm not sure if it's full contract or not. I have to go back and look at it so you can get back up to date and speed with everybody who's contracted where. But William, it's been a while. I want to give some shout outs real quick, because I keep forgetting to shout out this particular group every week, because they've always supported me. They always retweet my shows and all my other content, as well as other stuff that is a part of the Fans of Pro Wrestling Network, as well as the Wrestling Collective and the DWE Radio Network. Shout out to Carolina, Amber Holly, Rosie Blue Eyes, and everybody else there that's a part of the Wager Wire group. Thank you for always giving us the support. We appreciate you guys big time. Carolina, thank you for everything you do. I know you lead the charge on that. Amber Holly, you're always there. Same with you, Rosie. I can't say how much, there's not enough words to say how much I appreciate it. So, but let's go ahead and get this party started. And we're going to go with the NXT Heatwave card and understand these matches are in no particular order. These are just what I'm guessing. And remember, we're not experts. We're just fans making predictions tonight. So don't go by ours if you're able to bet on this. But William, let's start off with the women's number one contenders match. I'm guessing for the NXT Women's Championship here. And this one's going to be a doozy. We got Jada Parker taking on Kalani Jordan and Lola Vice.
Yeah.
This is a hell of a stacked match already.
Well, over the past few weeks, NXT has really been building to pop off. And so I'm looking forward to this. As far as this particular match, I think it's Jada Parker's time.
I think so too, because Jada Parker has been doing really phenomenal in-ring work, and her promo skills, despite what the IWC says, I think her promo skills are getting right up there too.
Oh, she's
due.
She's made bounds and leaps since her debut.
And I'm not taking anything away from Kalani Jordan. She's a phenomenal talent as well.
But Kalani's already been there.
Yep.
Like
Lola Vice, I think she's maybe not quite there yet, but she's on her way.
I'll admit that I did not really care for Lola Vice at the beginning and for quite a while after, but she is starting to learn how to tame it down and kind of feel more comfortable in her own skin.
Right. I'm just not a fan of the twerking is all.
No.
Get rid of that and I can take it very serious, you know. Just little things like that. And for those of you who are watching live and are wrestling fans, feel free to throw your predictions in our YouTube channel live or on, if you click into the actual video link on X, you should be able to leave a live comment there. Feel free to throw your prediction there as well. But yeah, both of us going for Jada Parker. Let's go on to the next match. It's a mixed tag team match. This one's going to be really interesting. Chelsea Green, the former Women's United States champion, teaming up with the current NXT North American champion, North American Canadian champion, I think he tries to call it.
Yeah.
All Ego Ethan Page, taking on Tyra May Steele and Tavian Heights. This one,
I like it.
I really like the match, especially for as much as Tavian Heights has improved. I'm not so familiar with Tyra May Steele. Can you give us a little education on her?
I can. She was in season 1 of LFG, and based on my downtime that I've had, I've been able to actually kind of look into what would you call them, the lesser programming that hasn't really quite hit popularity.
Kind of like the development program of development.
Yeah, it's pre-development. I was able to watch this. Tyra May Steele is, she was an Olympian. She actually won a gold medal. She has a very solid game. And if you haven't had the chance to check out LFG, I really suggest it. We're on season 2 now, and there are some big up-and-comers that are doing amazing work.
And I've been really bad with not following with LFG. I know they, like you said, they're in their second season. Yep. I never watched much of the first season, so I got a lot of catching up to do there.
Bailey Humphrey, you need to look her up.
Awesome. So if you were to go with a winner on this match, I mean, obviously, I don't know much about Tyra May. I know Tavian Heights is a great guy coming up. I'm sticking with the Canadians on this one, Chelsea Green and Ethan Page.
I'm going Tyra May Steele and Tavion.
All right. Here we go for the NXT Tag Team Championship. Unfortunately, I think we may both go the same direction on this just because I have a feeling. I know Dark State's been making a name for themselves.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but the champions, Hank and Tank, I think this might be the end of their title run.
Yeah.
I think Dark State is going to have this one in the bag.
Yeah, I'm going with Dark State as well. I love Hank and Tank, but I think that they could truly progress further if they kind of more focused them on the singles competition.
Do you think they're ready for the singles?
I don't think they're ready for main roster singles, but I think them working together has taught them a lot more about how to work with other people in the ring as well.
Okay. I actually fair with that one. So yeah, I agree. Jordan Grace taking on Blake Monroe, formerly the Mariah May of AEW.
Mm.
And boy, there has been nothing but shit criticism from the IWC on both of these ladies. And I
Which
think it's very unfair.
that's crap. Both of these ladies are amazing talents. I will tell you that I am going with Blake Monroe. Jordan Grace's time is coming. It is, but right now they have to do something with Blake Monroe because they introduced her. So I think it's going to be her.
Well, they introduced her. She came off one of the. I don't care what anyone says. I still think her AEW women's title run was actually pretty good.
She did good. She knows how to pull kind of just the hatred out of people and really dig that heel in.
Yeah. I think giving Blake Monroe the win here would be the best thing to do.
Plus, it could further fuel, rivalry.
Right. And I don't think Jordan Grace loses anything taking a loss here either.
No,
So.
she established herself a long time ago.
And we have a comment from Jim Fan the Van, who was just on the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. Couldn't they make up a better tag name than Hank and Tank? Sounds like a shady auto shop. I could think lots of other names, but
and I could definitely do without the honk honk.
Yeah, the honk honk just kind of takes things away. It almost kind of feels Vince McMahonish in some ways. But yeah, why don't we go on for the TNA Knockouts Championship in a triple threat, and this is where I think is really awesome. JC Jane, who's the champion, who's been really doing great work being a double champion, will be defending against Ash by Elegance, the former Dana Brooke, versus Masha Slamovich, who actually was in a 6-man tag on GCW last night. So she's pulling some matches here this weekend. She looked really good too, by the way, in GCW. Kudos to her. And I think Masha's a badass. I don't care what anyone says.
She's really, really she's not what you would expect from a female wrestler. She's all kinds of smash mouth style.
She is. She doesn't take anybody's shit either. So I give kudos to her. She's one gal I would never want to piss off. But here's the thing with triple threat matches. They always seem like they always seem to work against the champion. But if you really look at stats lately, it seems like triple threats and fatal four-ways seem to give the champion more favorability lately. And I think this one kind of throws everybody up in arms because you already got Ash, who's one of the current TNA Knockouts tag team champions. I don't see her holding a double championship. I would think Masha would regain the championship if it's going to go that way. I don't know. I mean, my pick is going to be going Masha Slamovich, even though in my brain, it should say JC Jaden. What about you?
I'm going actually with Ash by Elegance because yes, currently holding the tag team, but that doesn't mean she's going to continue to hold the tag team, and that title needs to go back to where it's supposed to be, which is TNA. So it's either got to be Masha or Ash, and I think it's going to be Ash.
All right. Okay. Anyways, which I will think will be the main event, and this one's going to be interesting too. The NXT Championship. Obafemi will be defending against Javon Evans. And this is what Javon's second or third opportunity.
I think third.
So, yeah, multiple times. Eventually, he's got to win it. You would think, right?
Not necessarily.
But I think it would be a mistake to put it on him right now.
I would agree with that, which is why I'm choosing Obafemi.
I think Obafemi right now,
he's just done so much good with that title.
I know there's been rumors circulating about him going main roster. I don't think I'm ready for him to go main roster. I still think he should be
he's got more.
I think he should still be the dominant force of NXT for a while.
Plus, he can earn some more accolades before he moves over. Like, just he's already established. Let him push it further.
All right. Do you have any final thoughts as far as how Heatwave will go tonight?
I really look to NXT to deliver every time they do one of these, and it's because they don't have to just show to the fans; they also have to show maybe long eventually to the main roster. So honestly, NXT is one of my more favorite programs to watch.
Well, and really, for the longest of time, NXT was the program to watch because it was different. You got more wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
They had the better storylines developing, and it was fresh new faces.
I'm also loving the fact that they're putting a lot of focus on the female wrestling.
Yes, I mean, Sean and Ava. I'm sure it's mostly been Sean, but Sean and Ava have been doing a really great job taking care of that NXT brand. And
Yep.
I really hope we see Ava in the ring here within the next year or so, because she's been training really hard with Charlotte Flair.
She has made a huge body change too. I don't know if anybody's really noticed that, but she has really gotten herself into shape.
Yes, I think,
and that was holding her back in the past. She wasn't able to move around that well.
Well, and I think a lot of that was just due to the fact she didn't have quite the reps in as far as getting in ring shape either.
Oh, yeah, no.
But I think it's going to be a matter of time before we see her come back, and I think she's going to be a force to reckon with for sure. But why don't we take kind of a little bit of a break and kind of get some more things out there. One of our tag team partners, Carlos, who's also joined with the Wrestle Collective, be sure to go check him out on the X at C to the LOS 77 or Conquer the No. He does X spaces there on Mondays after Raw Reactions with Carlos, and Wednesday nights after Dynamite, which they do Wednesday Night Chaos. Go check them out. Make sure you give them a follow and go join those fun conversations they have every Monday and Wednesday. Be sure to also follow our tag team partner, the Brian Adkins, on X. Also, his YouTube channel at Tap Out Talk. Brian the Hype Ballard, who's been filling in for William while William's been out. And I appreciate Brian. I do know Brian is very busy lately with his daughter getting back into tennis. So, Brian, looking forward to do some future projects with you. Be sure to check out and participate in our X community, the fans of pro wrestling, under the main X account at FOPW Network. Just feel free to come join, post some wrestling content, or if you know some wrestling shows for us to check out, hey, feel free to share it. Also, got an opinion, get on there. Let's get some conversations going. I'll tell you, it's fun conversation with the entire community. And you can follow us on the X as well. You can follow me, John, at WFI Pod, and I also administer the FOPW network. William?
At William Hoppy 8.
And remember, give him at least 30 to 45 days to respond.
That would be correct.
If you ever try to engage with him. We also have a group chat on the X for the fans of pro wrestling. Just get with me, Carlos, or Brian the Hype Ballard. Just get into our DMs, find out how you can join. All we ask is, don't be one of those tribalists that focuses on one brand or the other. Or if you do, just, be respectful of the fans that like the other promotions. We can all get along. It's not a problem. And be sure to check out our webpage that I still need to update. And sorry, the fans of pro wrestling.com. I'm going to be hoping to get some more podcasts and other shows here on the feature page. So, William.
Yes.
Now that was a mouthful. On to the bigger card here. As we all know, AEW never disappoints with the amount of wrestling. I just hope I'm able to stay awake for the entire thing from the 0 hour all the way to the very end. But why don't we go ahead and get into the 0 hour cards? Forbidden Door 0 hour. We got a 8-man. Is it? No. Yeah, it's an 8-man tag. Sorry. God, my eyes are bad today, folks. We got an 8-man tag, Paragon, which is Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, teaming with Yuya Yamura, sorry if I butchered that name, and El Desperado versus Hechicero, Josh Alexander, and crew. For those who don't know, that's Leo Rush and Action Andretti.
Little Leo.
I really hate that name. I don't understand it. But anyways, who are you going with in this?
Yeah, so I'm going to be going with Paragon Yuya and El Desperado. I think Hechicero is doing a wonderful job. Josh Alexander is a great talent. I'm not that big about crew.
I think crew would be the only thing that would hold them back for this win.
Yeah.
But I am actually, and usually,
I liked them before they started calling themselves crew.
well, 90% of the time, usually the faces win the 0 hour matches.
Yeah.
Of course, because you want to keep the crowd lit up and happy. I have a feeling this one time we're actually going to see the heel team win. I'm going to go with Hechicero, Josh Alexander, and crew.
I wouldn't be sad if that's the result.
I wouldn't be either, because either way, I think the fans win regardless with this match. So for the next match, got a 6-man tag or trios tag, they would say. Ricochet and the Gates of Agony versus Jet Speed and Michael Oku. And this is a special match if you are not familiar with Michael Oku, especially Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight. So, but you can't ever doubt the skills of Ricochet or the Gates of Agony either.
No.
This is actually, to me, this should be on the main card. But, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's still on the pay-per-view in some way, I guess. So, but for me, on this match, I got to give the momentum to Ricochet and Gates of Agony. How about you?
I really, really, really want to say Jet Speed and Michael Oku, but I also agree that Ricochet and Gates of Agony. Let's just be real about the fact that Ricochet doesn't take a whole lot of L's. And he has actually really kind of done well with the character that he's developed with AEW.
Yes, he has. And he's definitely got a lot more exposure and booked well since leaving the WWE. So, you know,
yeah,
I really think right there, definitely it would have to be Ricochet and Gates of Agony.
Yeah.
Especially being a new faction, a new strong faction. So the another 8-woman tag match. Not another, but an 8-woman tag match. The Triangle of Madness. Julia Hart, Sky Blue, and Tekla teaming up with Megan Bain, going up against Queen Aminata, Harley Cameron, Willow Nightingale. And this is the one that stuns me, Chris Statlander.
This is going to be a match. That's a lot of big names.
It is. And, you know, it's funny because so far I've picked 2 heel teams. I can't see a reason why for this heel team not to win either.
I do see Triangle of Madness and Megan Bain taking the victory on this. With everything that they're trying to do with Death Riders and Chris Statlander, it would make sense that she would be pushed into further frustration. So,
yeah, well, yeah.
Plus, there's a thing between Willow and Chris.
Yeah, and that still hasn't been resolved either.
Nope.
So I just have that feeling, the animosity between the two or whatever conflicts they're still going through. I think that might be what may possibly cause this match for that team. So I'm also going with the Triangle Madness and Megan Bain.
Mm-hmm. They need to do something with Megan Bain too.
Yeah, they do. They do.
I mean, come on.
And one of the last matches, and again, these probably aren't in any specific order. These are just what I'm guessing. The AEW Trios Championship, the Ops, Samoa Joe, Will Hobbs, and Shibata are taking on Bullet Club War Dogs,
Maloney, sir.
Yeah.
Drilla Maloney.
I'm getting tongue-tied today. Drilla Maloney, Clark Connors, and Robbie X. I don't see the championships changing.
No.
I think this is an easy pick.
Yeah, this one's Ops.
Yeah, this is all Ops. I mean, And this is not taking anything away from Bullet Club War Dogs. They're a great faction.
It's kind of cool to plug them in with an AEW event, though.
Well, yeah, it's AEW in New Japan, so I mean, and that's where Bullet Club mostly resides, is over in New Japan. So, but yeah, I just don't see the champions dropping this one, so we might as well just go ahead and move on to the main card now.
Mhm.
So, tag team match, just reunited. Adam Copeland taking on Christian Cage versus Luchasaurus, also known as Keel Switch, and Kip Sabian. You and I just both side, which is either a good thing or a bad thing. I'm going with the reunited Adam Copeland and Christian Cage.
I'm going the same way with it. I am glad to see that Kill Switch did recover and that he's returned.
Yeah, I mean,
But
that was very deadly stuff he was coming back from.
Yeah, but Copeland and Christian back together, just it doesn't make any sense to tear that apart when they spent so much time keeping them apart just to build up to this.
Right. Okay. Anyways, next we have the AEW Unified Championship. Because you, Okada,
Kazuchika.
I can never pronounce it, and Stampede always makes fun of me for doing that, and he rightfully so. But yeah,
You have a problem with foreign names.
I really do. Okada will be defending against Swerve Strickland.
This one's a tough call.
It is, because right now Okada holds the record for the longest reign of any champion. He holds the longest reign of any championship in AEW.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with Swerve on this one.
Really?
I am. It's nowhere in sight for Swerve to be going after the heavyweight title anytime soon. So it would make sense to progress him to this.
Okay. That's a good thought. I somehow think Okada is going to just keep that title reign going. I think he's going to go even longer here until we find someone, maybe even possibly someone returning that he took that championship off of, maybe to see a rematch. I keep hoping maybe we'll see him tonight. Only, hopefully. But yeah, I think Okada, he's going to end up keeping this and going even longer, because we also see him and Takeshita kind of have their little pick at each other moments too. I have a feeling some way, somehow, it might even lead up to a matchup for that championship between the two. I don't know yet, but anyways, moving on to the TBS Championship 4-way match. Mercedes 9 belts Monet will be defending the TBS Championship against Alex Windsor, who we actually been starting to see a little more on the TV.
I think our first glimpse of her was on the Jericho cruise.
It was, I felt bad for not knowing she was actually.
She's been around for a while.
She's been, well, not just been around a while, but she's also the significant other of Will Ospreay, which kind of makes sense why she was on the cruise ship, versus Persephone and Bozilla. Wow. I'm going to throw the logic again. They always like to make the 4-ways, triple threats seem like it's stacked against the champion. And for me, I'm thinking that's still not going to be the case here. I think Mercedes Monet ends up keeping that championship and extending her reign. So my pick is going to be Mercedes.
You see my face.
Yeah, I know you don't like to say it, but
it's going to be with Mercedes.
Yeah, for those of you who don't understand, Will is definitely not a fan of Mercedes. She's been growing back on me a little bit here and there.
She's been doing a little bit better, but she kind of fell over a huge wall for me.
No, I'm sorry. But anyways,
It's going to be a long climb back.
the Forbidden Door IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. The champion, Zack Sabre Jr., is good to defend against Nigel McGuinness. And holy Moses,
That's a match.
what a great opportunity for Nigel here.
Yeah. It took me a while to grow on to any kind of like for Nigel McGuinness because he's very good with that negative tone. But he is a killer wrestler, and I really love everything that he's proved he can do. But this is Zack Sabre. It's gonna be Zack.
Right. And Zack Sabre, I just don't see him dropping this championship anytime soon.
Yeah.
He's been doing really awesome work for New Japan for the longest of time. And if you're not familiar with any of his stuff, I encourage you to go YouTube it. Or if you got any subscription to the New Japan, go back and watch some of the on-demand stuff with him. You'd be very wowed with the way this guy works in the ring and can cut killer promos too, by the way. This is a guy who I think is very underappreciated in the wrestling business.
I would say the same. Like, he really just does not get as much exposure or love as he should.
And if this is your first time watching Zack Sabre Jr., definitely pay attention this entire match, especially with Nigel, because Nigel also can make anyone look good in that ring as well. Let's move on to the AEW World Tag Team Championship 3-way elimination match. I didn't know this was going to be an elimination. I thought it was just going to be a 3-way. But we have the Hurt Syndicate defending against FTR and Brodito. And for those who haven't been following along and you just watch the pay-per-views, Brodito is the team.
Big Brody.
Big Brody and
Bandito.
Yes. So quite the interesting tag team combo there. So
it just is it gonna work?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily is it gonna work because they've gone this long so far, but I think the Hurt Syndicate's on such a great momentum. They're really a hard team to defeat, and
yeah,
I just can't see them dropping this. I think eventually those championships are going to get dropped to when it comes to it in the future against the reunited duo of Adam Copeland and Christian Cage.
That would make sense. And as far as Brodito goes, let's do something else with Brody, please. Singles competition, preferably.
Let's get him in that unified division, or the TNT championship.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about Bandito. He's got quite a future ahead of him.
Oh, yeah. All right. For the AEW TNT championship, the newly crowned champion, Kyle Fletcher, will be defending against Hiromu Takahashi.
Really cool to see Takahashi again. It's always a pleasure to watch him and all the work he does in the ring. But Kyle Fletcher is on a whole nother level right now, flying Cloud 9, and I don't see taking that away from him at this point.
Yeah, well, and really, I mean, even though Dustin Rhodes had a short run with it, which I thought was pretty cool.
I'm glad he got that.
Yeah.
He's about out the door.
Those guys who will eventually be AEW World Champion.
Oh, yeah.
If he sticks with the company long enough. I just don't see any reason to take it off him. Let him build a really great reign with that TNT championship.
Yep.
Like you mentioned, Takahashi, always a pleasure to watch him wrestle, especially on the TV, or if you ever get a chance to see him in person. Yeah, it's really a cool moment to have right there. But yeah, Kyle Fletcher, that's who I'm going to go with as well. The AEW Women's World Championship. This will be probably one of the most interesting matches you will see tonight. Timeless Tony Storm, the champion, will be taking on the forever Ring of Honor Women's Champion, Athena. Oh man, I have been waiting for this moment for Athena for the longest of time. I'm just so sad to see it come against Tony Storm.
Yeah, this was definitely not, in my opinion, the time to throw her in there. Just not. Because I'm going with Tony Storm. But Athena deserves all the accolades in the world. She has worked hard.
I think I'm going to make the shocker decision here. I want to see Athena win.
I want to see her win too.
I'm going to go with Athena on this just because I've always been a big fan of her, even when she was Ember Moon. And I don't think WWE used her right, but
I really think this could also help not only springboard Athena. I think it would really help Billy too.
Yes. Well, and I think it would be cool to see someone hold both the Ring of Honor Women's Championship and the AEW Women's Championship.
If this happens that way, I would not be upset whatsoever.
Now, if that were the case, since we got a little bit of time to still talk here, if that was the case, do you think Athena should relinquish the Ring of Honor Women's Championship?
No, I don't think so. I think it should be dealt with the correct way, which she loses to somebody.
Okay.
But it would be nice to see more focus with her in AEW.
Definitely. All right. Now, the last two matches here, it can go either way. I would almost think this would be the main event, but you just never know with the way booking will go.
Yeah.
But the Lights Out Steel Cage match, and this is going to be interesting. The team of Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Darby Allin, and Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Gabe Kidd, the Young Bucks, Claudio Castagnoli, and John Moxley. Woo!
It's ugly.
Yeah. Well, first off, I predict John Moxley's going to bleed.
If he sneezes, he's bleeding. So
let's get your thoughts.
This should be a pretty brutal match. You've got what's going on with Will Ospreay. Kenny Omega is just barely kind of coming back again. Kota Ibushi, Darby Allin, wonderful talents. Tanahashi, I really haven't watched that much of, but I do believe this is going to go in the way of Gabe Kidd, the Young Bucks, Claudio, and Moxley, and I think it's going to feel a little more to that fire between Allin and Mox.
Well, and don't forget, Will Ospreay has a beef with Mox too for his recent injuries. So
yeah,
I have a feeling though we may see Will Ospreay out for a little bit because I do know he kind of has an obligation outside AEW. For those who don't know or haven't followed, KNS WrestleFest. So hint, hint. Wow. KNS WrestleFest. Hint,
if we're doing shitty plugs, here we go.
Well, no, it's not a shitty plug for KNS WrestleFest because that's who I send all my cards to get signed.
If you're going to plug it loud.
Okay, KNS WrestleFest. He will be there eventually. So if you really want to get an autograph, be sure to go join KNS WrestleFest on their virtual signing. They do a really wonderful job there, Ken, Joe. Also, not last but not least.
Did you give a prediction as to the winner of that match?
Oh, you know what? I did not.
You did not.
I am going to go with you. I think the Death Riders kind of need that pep back to start their momentum again.
Plus the thing that they've got going with Chris Statlander.
Yep. And I like I have a feeling there could be a possibility Chris Statlander might get involved. Who knows?
It would be interesting to see her kind of go towards Mega Hill.
Yeah. Well, she really never got that Mega Hill run either because fans didn't want to turn on her.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But Yeah, I gotta go with the Death Riders, Young Bucks, and Gabe Kidd.
Mhm.
That's
a slippery combo.
I mean, I love the fact that John Moxley's not focused on getting the world championship back right away.
Yeah.
After he just had his rematch not too long ago.
Oh, no.
So
we could give this guy a vacation.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely deserves it.
Oh my goodness.
So, all right. But for the last but not least, for the AEW World Championship, and keep in mind the title can change hands on any decision, meaning it can change on a disqualification, it can change on a count out, pinfall, submission. It can change on any decision. Hangman Adam Page will be defending the championship against MJF. And originally, this was supposed to be MJF's cash in from the Owen Hart tournament. No, it wasn't the Owen Hart tournament. It was the Gauntlet. My bad. Hangman was the winner of the Owen Hart tournament. This was from the Gauntlet that MJF won, but he weaseled his way out of not having to use the cash in, which is kind of interesting. So, yeah, I have a feeling based off that, I think Hangman Adam Page is going to win in some way, somehow. MJF is going to wait either later tonight after that decision and get some help, or, excuse me, or he finds a way to sell off that contract if he wins. But I'm going with the first one a little bit. How about you?
You okay over there, buddy?
No, I did this last time with Brian.
I do believe Hangman Adam Page wins. We know that we can expect to see some sneaky ass shit with MJF, and it should be entertaining as it always is. As far as them figuring out what the surprise is going to be with him, I couldn't guess. I would side with you on your thoughts, but I'm never ever disappointed with the surprises that come with MJF. Never.
All right. And do you have any final thoughts for tonight's Forbidden Door?
Try to compartmentalize it as much as you can with everything that's going on. There's a lot. So
there is a lot to take in. And again, if you're a wrestling fan of either promotion, you're eating good tonight. But yeah, feel free to watch whatever you want. Don't let people take you down with what you like. Just enjoy what it is you like out there. I think both events are going to be really good. Again, NXT never seems to ever disappoint me. AEW, New Japan, you can't ever go wrong with that. If you're watching GCW tonight, have fun watching that as well, because I'm sure they're going to have a great card for the second night here as well. But William, once again, why don't we go through a rundown real quick? Again, be sure to go check out one of our tag team partners, Carlos at C to the LOS 77, or at Conquer the No on the X app. Again, he has his spaces every Monday night after Raw and every Wednesday night after AEW Dynamite. Go join in on the fun wrestling conversations. Get your voice heard. Also, our other tag team partner, Brian the Hype Ballard. Follow him at the Brian Adkins and his YouTube channel at Tap Out Talk. I'm pretty sure he might, if he doesn't do NXT Heatwave, he might do the Forbidden Door. But either way, be sure to go check out his channel. And also go check out and participate in our X community, the fans of pro wrestling. Just go check it out under the main account, FOPW Network. And also on the X app where I administer the at FOP Network. You can also reach me at WFI Pod for the Wrestling Fans Insight Podcast. And William, once again.
William Hoppy 8.
And our group chat on the X, the fans of pro wrestling, just get with me, Carlos O'Brien, on how to join. And also our webpage, thefansofprowrestling.com. And if you haven't noticed on our screen here, be sure to go check out our YouTube channel at Wrestling Fans Insight. Go hit that subscribe. Be sure to like and comment with what you think of the show or what we could do better. we're not afraid to take whatever criticisms we have. So, or you may have for us. Either way, I guess I screwed that up once again. But William,
Just say what you want to say.
do you have any shout outs to give?
I do not. I've been away for way too long, just as I always have. I just want to thank everybody who is taking the time to listen to this and be with us. Right now is kind of a busy season for everything.
All right. Yeah, and I want to give some big thank yous out there once again to the Wager Wire family, especially Carolina, Amber Holly, Rosie Blue Eyes. Thank you for liking and retweeting our shows and giving us the support on whether it's our live shows, our X Spaces, whatever content we have out there. Also, big thank you to Jim at Fan of the Van podcast. He's always helping with the retweets as well. Thank you, Jim, for everything you do. Be sure to go check out his podcast, Fan in the Van. He does real takes on just about anything NFL and baseball related. Or every once in a while, he throws out some wrestling stuff, which does a good job. And you can listen to Whitey Duvall with him every once in a while, which he's a little pain in the ass. But be sure to just go slap that pecker once in a while too. But be sure to go check out Two Dudes Sports News, the Steel and Teal Talk, which is Jim and Garrett, the Two Dudes Sports News, Garrett and Jalen. Be sure to go check out Average Joe Sports. Brutally Honest Sports. I don't know why I keep screwing up that one. Nate's Daily Wager, Visit Vegas Places with Coil. Go check out our friend Ted the Hillbilly Hill on YouTube at Ted's Takes on Wrestling. And also be sure to go check out our friends over at the SportCoin Network if you're into the crypto stuff. As you see right there, we have a hashtag SportCoin Certified. But be sure to go check out his account at SportCoin1. That's the number 1, not spelled 1. Don't laugh at me, damn it.
I'll laugh at you.
I'll kiss it. Also, a big shout out to Miami the Great, the Final Boss Lady, the DWE Island and Radio, Marks with Mikes, the Wrestle Collective. Be sure to go check out the Wrestle Collective and DWE Network. They do some really fantastic content on Discord. Wrestle Collective just started their podcast on the YouTube as well. And go check out their X Spaces. All of them do such a wonderful job. And if you have a hard time finding any of them, again, go check out our community on X, thefansofprowrestling.com or the Fans of Pro Wrestling, as I try to make sure I get their stuff reposted quite often so people will go check out all their stuff. And without any further ado, William, I think it's about that time. We somehow made it under an hour in this episode with as much as going on tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I will be gone next week. I'm going to try to do a recording to make up for next week's absence. Or if William's around, we could probably do a later show.
It's possible I might be out of state. We'll see.
Okay. Well, either way, we'll find a way to be on air one way or another. But it would be at normal time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We just went a little early today because of the double pay-per-view. But I also have a summer barbecue to get with the in-laws.
I got the same thing next Sunday night, but not with in-laws.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. It's still a barbecue. That's good.
Yeah.
But anyways, thank you for tuning in, folks. We will have a replay going on the X account and YouTube channel here a little bit later of this episode. But anyways, enjoy wrestling. Catch you all later. Take care.